and a good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you, the good people of the tube. Hope you are today, hope you are feeling grand and all is well in your world. Hello there, everybody. Welcome to another video, everybody, on the ST62's vintage facelift. This is part 2. There will be one more part in this series where we basically reassemble the guitar, and then jobs are good. So, today's vid, everybody, is I'm going to show you where we're at so far and basically give you an update, because I've had quite a few people saying, like, what's going on with it, where, it's been a long time since I did anything about this guitar, so where is it, what's going on? So, at this point in time, the body is still in Ireland. So the body's still not with me. It's still getting refinished, resanded, recontoured by Scott SC Relics. So it's still there. So I don't have the body. But that does not mean that I have been idle with the project. I have been doing things. So let me explain where we are so far with this. Okay, so let's start with the neck. Because the neck, in all fairness, was like the thing I did that I don't really have to do anything to. So the only thing I've done with the neck is replace the machine heads. So this guitar originally had the unbranded, just stock Fender machine heads, Clouson style, but they were unbranded. There was no lettering on them. It's just like, they just are what they are. And they don't quite have the right shape of the old vintage Clouson Deluxe machine heads, the single line Clousons. So I've replaced them with reproductions. So these are from Crazy Parts in Germany. So they're just reproduction single line Clousons. They're called single line because they've got a single line of text, and that's period correct to 60s Fenders, Telecasters, Strats, Jaguars. They all have these single line Clousons, and 50s Fenders for that matter as well. I believe. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comment section below, people of the tube. So that's all I really need to do with the neck. I don't really need to do anything with the neck. I'm not going to replace the dots with clay dots. I just don't see the point. The only thing that I'm debating at this point in time is removing the lacquer off the back of the neck. But I quite like it. So at this point in time, the lacquer stays. I'm just going to leave it as is for this time. But I don't really have to do a lot to the neck. The neck is, it's a vintage style neck. It's got the 7 and whatever radius fretboard. It's got the right radius. It could do with a refret, but that can wait for a little bit longer. There's no point in me getting a refret just now. There's still a good fair bit of life in these frets yet. I mean, it's got the truss rod access in the right place. There's the date of the neck there. Is it 91? Yeah, 91. 91. This guitar. So yeah, I don't really have to do a lot to the neck. I'll say all I wanted to do was change the machine heads to Clouson Deluxe style single line machine heads, again, to be historically accurate, because the neck itself feels a lot like my 62. It's not skinny enough up this top end to be a 62, but it's close enough. You know what I mean? It's in the ballpark. There's no real volute here. The old Fenders didn't have volutes here. Like, there was nothing there. They kind of go seamlessly from the neck into the headstock. This one's pretty good. There is a little bit you can see, but it's not drastic. There's no volute down the bottom end at all. It's perfect. And this neck is fantastic. This neck feels so nice. I mean, I've always loved this guitar neck, so it's really nice. So that's the neck. Not really much going on there. Just to say, just replace the machine heads with period correct single line Clouson Deluxe machine heads, and that's your lot. But there's no need to replace the nut. The nut's fine. Frets are okay for a while. The rosewood is really dark on this neck. It's a really lovely rosewood, and you can see there's a lot of wear on it. It's not like a pristine fretboard at all. It's really been used, this neck has, and I like that because it really adds. When I get the body back, it will look right to the relic body. So, and again, if I get it if I can get it in the light, hopefully you can see. It's very rough, and I like it. So that's the neck. Very simple, straightforward. I've just replaced machine heads. I didn't film it because it's just replacing machine heads. I didn't think it'd be, inspiring viewing, so to say. So the next thing is the tremolo. So the ST62's original trem will not be going back on the guitar. That will be, I'll basically just keep that. It's just on the shelf there actually, but I'll be keeping getting like a parts thing. I'm not going to get rid of it because I don't want to lose its original pieces. So I won't be getting rid of that, but I will be. It won't be going back on the guitar. I apologise. So what will be going on the guitar instead is this. So this is a reproduction 60s trem, but slightly relict. You can see it's slightly beaten up, and this is from Crazy Parts as well in Germany. So it's got Fender pattern pedals, pending saddles, Again, I don't think you'll be able to see them, but they're slightly, they're aged. All the metal work is aged. It's a steel block trem as well, so it's, again, historically correct. It's not quite the same. The machine work isn't quite the same, but I'm not going to go that far, to be honest with people of the tube. It looks right, it feels right, and it's a really, really cool tremolo, and it's really heavy. Like, the steel block on this thing is absolutely immense. So, and I like the way it looks. It looks really cool, and I think it's going to look amazing on the guitar when the body comes back. So this is going to be the tremolo, basically from now on. Well, when I get the guitar back, this is going to be a tremolo from now on, and the original I will just keep as basically. If I get a guitar without a tremolo, or I fancy using it, or if I fancy putting it back on, if I don't like the way this one feels on the guitar, I'll put the original back on, because the original was pretty good. It wasn't amazing, but it was good. And if this one doesn't feel any better, then I'll just put the original back on. But at this point in time, this is the trem that's going to go on there when it comes back. Like I say, it's period correct. It's got 90% the right kind of tooling and machining and sizes. And it works, and it looks cool. I like the way it's aged. It's not over the top aging, but it looks kind of like, it looks the part. It really does look the part, and I love it. And I really like the Fender pat pending on the saddles. I mean, you won't be able to see that, I don't think, at all. No, you won't. But I like the way it looks, and I like the fact that the block is slightly relict as well. You can see it's a bit scuffed up here and there, and it's not pristine. And again, that goes with the kind of the look we're going for with this guitar. So that's the tremolo, steel block, folded steel saddles. All's well with that one. So that's for tremolo. So moving on, let's go to the scratch plate next. So scratch plate. I was gonna buy a celluloid scratch plate. Like the original scratch plates on 60 Strats were not plastic; they were like a celluloid thing, which is why they shrink over time. They're really weird. They're kind of like degrading. But I decided against it the last minute. I was like, there's no point. And the scratch plate I've got on here is the perfect kind of shade of mint green that I want, and it goes really nicely with the aged covers. And the really cool thing is, that I really love about this guitar, is these covers have aged naturally. They're actually white underneath. Let me try and get it in light. So yeah, you can see they're white underneath, and then the yellow on top, which means they've aged naturally, which was really cool, because I was going to get replacement covers as well, and then I thought, no, because they look right. So I was like, no, they stay. So they're the original covers. All the electrics are going to stay the same. I am going to get a three-way selector, though, at some point, but at this point in time, the five-way will do, even though it's technically not five-way, because there is no position 2 and 4, because somebody wired it wrong. Like I say, the scratch plate's going to stay. I just like the way, the mint green of this scratch plate is perfect. There's no need for me to change it. I know this plate fits the guitar because it was on the guitar. Like I say, the pickup covers look ace. I love the colour of them. They're that kind of like smoky, nicotine-y kind of colour. I don't know if you can hear the bells, Esmeralda, because it's 12 o'clock, it's dinner time. Anyway, and the same thing as well with the volume covers as well. The knob covers they're going to stay, and the football on the selector switch is going to stay. At some point, like I say, I will get a three-way selector, but at this point in time, I'm not rushing to do that. It's not ridiculous. I've simulated the crack in the scratch plate, which not all 60 Strats did, but they invariably broke there. There was a lot of tension, there was a lot of stress on them there, so I've simulated a crack there. I've also simulated the truss rod access thing there. Wasn't there originally on this scratch plate, so I've done that. Another thing we've done is we've added the aluminium shielding plate underneath the scratch plate. Now this is something that Fender did, from the get-go really. The old 50s Strats had a shielding plate, but it only covered the electrics. It only basically was kind of like to attach the selector switch and the volume pot and the 2 tone pots to. So it only kind of covered that section. Whereas in the 60s, I don't know if they came in. I think they came in. I feel they came in late 59 into 60, but I don't know exactly. But definitely in the 60s, most 60s Fender Strats had this massive aluminium shielding plate under the scratch plate. So that's why that's there. So huge shielding plate. and it makes me very happy to see that. Geek ahoy! But yeah, I love it. And again, I'm not going to change the electrics on this guitar. I'm not going to change the pickups because they're amazing. There'd be no point in me changing the electrics to anything else because this guitar sounds amazing. I don't need to do that, so saves me a bit of money, everybody. So, so we have the aluminium shielding plate. I didn't get that from Crazy Parts. I got that from Axes R Us in Britain. I got the scratch plate from Axes R Us. I've had this one for ages, and the rest is just what the guitar was when I got it. So. That's the scratch plate, and I say, like, it's pretty straightforward. I'm not replacing any of the wires with cloth wiring. I'm not going to go to that extent, you know. There's no point me doing that. The guitar works, and I love the way it is, you know. There's no point me messing around with that. So that's the scratch plate, people, of the tube. Simple, green guard, aged covers, naturally aged covers as well, which is even cooler. I love the fact that they're white underneath. And I say, we've got the aluminium shielding guard, which again is period correct to the 60s. And also, on my 62 Strat, on the aluminium shielding guard under the scratch plate, there's initials of the person who assembled that at the Fender factory, and it's ER. So somebody signed that scratch plate when they finished it. So I did. I put my initials on this one. So so there we go. Be that what it made. But when I'm gone, and whoever gets this guitar after it, it's not mine anymore. You know. It's got my initials on the inside. So anyway, so that's the scratch plate. Again, not much to do, to be honest with you. Just, you know, bits and pieces. So, last part is kind of just bits and pieces. It's nothing major. I have now in here. So in here is a reproduction, well, kind of relict, if you will. It's not reproduction, but it's a relict jack socket you can see there. And also there are some rusty screws in there as well. Period correct screws. Because I know it sounds geeky, but the screws in the 60s were a different size to modern day screws. They were smaller. So I've got some screws from Crazy Parts of that jack socket. Well, the jack cup thing that it holds. That's from Crazy Parts as well. And they're just a different size, so it'll look a bit more kind of authentic, if you will, which is the whole point of this project. So, I was initially going to get a back plate with a period correct serial number, but I'm not going to bother with that. I want to put the original plate back on, which is just this thing. Excuse me. I'm just going to put that back on because it's part of the guitar, and I like it, and I don't really want to change it. Other than that, it's... You know, but other than that, it's the original parts, basically. So that's it, people of the tube. That's where we're at with it so far. So that's the neck done. Got the tremolo sorted. Got the scratch plate sorted. Got the hardware sorted. Literally what we're doing now is just literally waiting on the body to be finished and shipped back over to me here. And then we can reassemble it and see how it comes out. So so that's it. That's it. That's the update so far on the ST62 vintage facelift. So, is there anything else I need to talk about? I don't think there is. No, there isn't. So, the next video, part 3, I'm going to film reassembling the guitar. So, basically, what the part 3 I'm going to basically think of doing is basically unboxing the body. When I get the body back from SC Relics from Ireland, I'm going to unbox it on camera. And then, basically, in the same video, we'll reassemble it and try it out, basically. And I'll probably do that with my friends, Nicole and Marjo. So they'll, you know, they can help me with it. So so that'll be the next vid, everybody, and that'll be the end of this like little mini series on giving the ST62 a vintage facelift. I am so excited to see how this guitar comes out. You know, I'm really curious, and whenever I get back to England, it'll be very interesting to compare it to my 62. You know, I know the 62 is refinned, but it'll be interesting to see. You know, just kind of like certain things, you know. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Anyway, yeah, like I say, so that's where we're at with it. I just thought I'd do like a little mini update vid, just to let you know where we are. So that's the neck tremolo scratch plate. That's the hardware. Everything's kind of finished, basically. It's just a case of waiting on the body, reassembling, and jobs are good, and hopefully. So that's where we are, people of tube. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video for what it is. It's very short, but I will do some playing in a second. I'm not going to leave you without playing. I can't do that. It feels weird. So I'm going to plug in a guitar now. I'm just going to do like a bit of a jam. I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see what happens. And yeah, so that's where we are with ST62 vintage facelift, and I will see you again for another vid very soon. And I said the next video on this will be the last one, and it'll just be a reassembly video basically, which will be really good fun, and trying it out for the first time in its new form. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you have a great morning, good afternoon, and a good evening. You got there in the end. I'm hungry, and yeah, I'll see you again, people. Tube. Have a great one. I swear there's something I'm missing to talk about here. 1 second. Just give me a second just to think. Because if I get this wrong... machine heads, tremolo, hardware, scratch plate. No, I haven't. It's just my brain tricking me. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, everybody. See you again. Goodbye now. Thank you very much for watching. And let's play some music.